Dole ñefe. Gumo leen yàlla waay.
Legend in the making. Never thought about how long the dream would take when your confidence is breaking and you're fighting not to give in to temptation. Champion no be easy. Even a silver spoon needs food to feed a fool full of privilege. Money no be talent, talent be divine heritage. That's your leverage. Hustle every day where you know they see top. Bank alert still no drop.
I'm the brother, yes. Do it for my niggas from the Ghana side.
Welcome back. This is In the Mix with Mariah. I'm your girl. Sorry for the wait. You guys know how it is. But we back, baby. We back. And today I'm very excited to have this guest on, someone I consider family. She's a YouTuber extraordinaire, influencer, it girl, gym girly right now. You know, she's a lot of everybody clap for Nubuke. Nubuke, thank you so much for doing this with me. How you doing?
I'm good. Like, I love the fact that you said I'm a gym girly. I thank you. I'm really trying.
Trying. We're all trying. You know, summer is coming, so we have to be outside.
It's coming.
Nubuke, so the reason why I really wanted you on the podcast was because this is a music-based podcast, and though you are not necessarily, I wouldn't say your focus is music, but you have a lot of experience in that field. You are somebody who has actually produced music. You are an actor. Like, the resume is long. I can list so many things that you've done. One thing I really want to start with is Take Back the Mic, because that's where you really delved into sound and making music and producing your own music. So let's start there. Talk to me a little bit about what it's like to make music.
Yeah. So Take Back the Mic was a singing competition that was organized. It was called Take Back the Mic Africa. So basically what had happened was there was this great team of people, Derek Ashong and his wife, Lucia Broly, who decided, they wanted to platform a lot of African musicians. There was a competition around Africa. It was online, and it was about submitting your music and putting your music on a platform, and then people could vote for you from the different countries. And if you made it to the top, then you got to compete with people like on an African-based level. So anyway, I made it to the semi-finalists. I think I came in second for Ghana. Fun time. But I remember this being such a fun experience because the year before, a couple years before, I did a singing competition in Mauritius when I lived there. And then, so obviously when it was COVID, they did this Take Back the Mic Africa thing. It was so fun because I was like, okay, I get to get back into my music bag, and like I could make original songs. And I love creating. That is part of the reason I do a lot of YouTube. I love coming up with ideas, and I love being in spaces where I just have to think of adventures. And for me, music was another adventure to go on. So I would listen to a beat and I'd come up with a song, or I'd come up with a melody, or I'd come up with these horrible lyrics, but sometimes the lyrics were good. And I just wanted to try.
Yeah.
I shot my shot, my music shots. We got to number 2. I was so close.
So even though, like, again, your resume is super long and you've done, I think, really your bag is theater and the arts in general. You're singing, you're dancing, you're entertaining. I think you're a generalist really in the field. But this is a music podcast, and the focus of the podcast is African music and the African sound. And so I thought you'd be a great person to talk to because you have tasted the industry and you have tasted what it takes to produce and to go through the difficulty of what making music can be. So I guess let's just start with something simple. Who are some of your favorite Afrobeats and African music artists at the moment?
Oh my gosh, I'm such a mobster is what we are called. And that's Ayra Starr's little crew. I love her so much.
I saw Grammy nominated, very, very, very big.
She's so talented. I love her music. And it's just because it's such positive vibes. And so for me, like Ayra all day, every day. And then I'm a little basics. I like the mainstream songs. So like anything that's like on the top like 10 of the list, like I am there. the most popular songs like I am listening to it. But it's also because like it gets to the top because it's cool, you know.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite songs at the moment is Cast by Pappy. You know, and he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, Charlie Poppy and Odimodu, they're both gone right now.
They
Yeah.
are, they are. And one of my favorite songs when it came out as well was Charm by Rema and like D&D. Like the chances that everybody else likes the song and I like it are like I am that girl. Like I don't have any special taste. Like I like what everybody likes.
Okay. I mean, now I'm gonna call you out. This is one thing that I in the last episode, people really one person complained, and I really thought about that. You haven't mentioned any Ghanaian artists, and why is that?
I see. You see, that's a problem. I literally just said I'm as basic as everybody else in the world, and it's because there's not that many Ghanaian artists at the top. And so, like, when they get to the top, is when like they're front and center of my mind. Not to say that they're not front and center of my mind. So, like, I listen to KiDi, King Promise, and who else do I listen to from Ghana that I really like? Why are those? See, I'm blanking.
I mean, obviously, there's Amare, my girl over here.
But Amare, like, she's very niche as well. You know, so
Right.
like, again, like I know the popular songs.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and then I listen to Asi. She's like she does like more R&B ish type music, and she's Ghanaian. So there we go. I listen to Asi.
I don't really blame you for that. I think that's the difficulty with Afrobeats in general, and this is part of the reason why we started this podcast, because it's so hard to sort of pin down. I will say, like, Ghanaian artists in general, a lot of them are niche. Like, I don't know how much we're really making Afro beats in terms of sort of the way that most people think about it. You know, I think Afro beats is the way we think about it in general is it's very Nigerian, but Ghanaian music is very dynamic, very niche. We're doing a lot of different things. I think we experiment a lot more. Personally, that's my personal opinion. And just the reason why we're where we are today in Afrobeats, I think, you know, there's a long history. We can go all the way back to Fela Kuti and say that, okay, that's where the word came from, Afrobeats. And then, you know, there's high life and hip life, and that's kind of blended with some of Nigerian local music, some Fuji music, Zanku music, all these things sort of boiled down. And, you know, at the basis of that is hip hop. All these things sort of boiled down to create what we know as Afrobeats today. So I think, I mean, it's so hard to sort of narrow it down that I think that there's a particular point in time that I think, you know, every 5 to 10 years, Afrobeats is changing a lot. Even the Afrobeats of today is even very different from the Afrobeats of 2017, for example. So how do we like tie that down? How do we anchor it in something and say, this is where we started and this is how it's done? And I will say, again, personal opinion, but I think a lot of people will agree with me. I think the current Afrobeats wave started with Juls.
Absolutely. What Juls, baby?
Fun fact, did you know the Juls baby, that's Amare? She's the one who says that.
No, I didn't know that.
I do my research. Yeah.
That's so cool. You see, Ghanaians are so cool.
We're very cool. We're the coolest.
Cool. But like what you said about like music changing, because if you asked me 10 years ago, I'm telling you there would have been a lot of Ghanaian artists that were on the top of my list. Like I remember when Castro again, no, featuring Big, that was my jam. Ruby Jet is one of the players of the Black Stars football team, and he played music, and that was fun, and that was like what I was listening to at the moment. So I just want to even kind of defend myself a little bit. That the reason I am like so obsessed with all of these Nigerian artists because now they've risen to the top. So I'll say like there's now like 6 people at the top, and maybe like somebody who's Ghanaian, like a Ghanaian Afrobeats artist is like now 7, 8. So by default, like my top, 6 are from Nigeria. But like 10 years ago, my top, my top 5.
That's true, yeah.
But yes, absolutely. Like I think that Juls has pioneered a lot of Afrobeats, maybe from his brain is amazing. Like I think the music that he's been able to produce, from working with Wizkid, working with Mr. Eazi, like all of these, like it's so I love that Amare did that. Like, and Archie herself is like an artist herself. Like music has been, in the space. Like even Ria Boss, like I remember before her music now when she was singing with somebody called Paapa Verse.
Yes.
And when I was in like middle school, like I was listening to their songs and I was like, this.
Oh, but that's like Dear Grace. I know I never seen your face. That guy.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was back in the day. Yeah, very good as well.
days. And I also didn't like, and I didn't realize that it was Ria Boss that was on the song. One of his songs in that, and it was like, oh my god, and like she sings now, and yeah, I think Afrobeats has changed so much, and I think that what we're gonna see more now is again more niche music. So you have the Anna Rose.
Yeah.
You have Annabelle Rose, you have Ria Boss, you have Asi, and that's like a very niche music, and it's like and has a very different style. Then you have King Promise, you have Kwame Eugene. Oh, I forgot my God. And there's all of these artists. Yeah, I don't know what direction we're going in.
The future is very, very bright, and like I said, it's very dynamic. We're constantly changing. It's honestly very hard to keep up. I said, like you have to sort of try and as a music lover, I think it's very important for me to sort of I feel like homework. I'm like, okay, who's new, who's out here in these streets that I need to hear about? Like, who do I need to interview, for example? Who do I need to get on this podcast? Who do I need to platform? I think it's important for us to own our narrative and to speak from the continent and for the continent and say, okay, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing this is what inspires us and where the sound is coming from. So I'm glad you mentioned Ria Boss. I'm thinking one thing that her and Juls have in common is that they grew up or they lived outside of Ghana, for example. Juls is British Ghanaian. Ria Boss, I believe, started her career in the US, Ghana, to continue. How much do you think that is playing a role into things? Because Juls himself will say that he's a big dancehall reggae hip hop fan, but he's also, when he moved to Ghana, then he realized that, oh wow, there's all these amazing sounds in high life. He loves Kojo and he's sort of he was able to mix that into those key sounds that he started with. How do you think? Well, I mean, you're a music maker as well. Did that influence you? You living abroad for a little while and then coming home and then interacting with other Africans? How did that influence your music making?
This is very interesting. I mean, I grew up in Ghana, so I would say that a majority of like my influence or like what I do has always been very much like Ghana. That being said, I grew up in Ghana and I was in front of my TV all the time watching Disney Channel and Nickelodeon and Trace, So I don't know if it's more so the fact that I have traveled abroad or like even now the fact that I live abroad-ish than it would be the fact that like on TV, like I have access to like more things now. Like I think that somebody in the village can have the same internet access that somebody has
absolutely
around the world and still be able to like mix like some of the most revolutionary music or like sometimes talent will come from within, so you're not even listening to other people. Or sometimes you're just doing the beats of your own.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think what I would call it is being exposed to different forms of art and how other people tell different stories that has impacted how I make music, how I listen to music. And I would say like, sounds like Ria Boss and Juls were on the same level of like when they were exposed, as artists themselves, they just absorbed everything that they were exposed to.
Yeah. I feel like people that don't grow up in Africa don't realize how much content we receive from outside of the continent, like
so much.
And throughout, I mean, everything that happens here happens abroad is happening in Africa at the same time, because it's like we're seeing the influence, and so we're like, oh, I like this. How do I make this Ghanaian? How do I make this Nigerian? How do I make this Ivorian?
Yeah, I was gonna say my American accent was developed in Ghana.
Literally from Hannah Montana, Eazi. So I think a lot of people don't recognize that it's that influence. There's no way to sort of close the door because it's always back and forth. Even we can go all the way back to slavery, colonialism. Like even back then we were receiving a lot of information of things. So we've always sort of blended things with what we know with what we're doing. And that influenced our music a lot. And that's exactly why we're here today. Let's zoom in on Juls a little bit. Do you have a favorite Juls song? A favorite Juls song or album or project or feature?
Oh my god, do I? This is so bad because now I'm blanking. Now I'm just like, I don't do baby, so I know whatever song. I'm trying to like play something in my head. No, please give me.
So Juls has his bag is deep, right? He has so the first song that I ever heard from Juls, and I think, well, I don't think this was his first song. I think this was his second ever song, was Bankulize.
Oh, such a classic
at the time, you're a little younger than me, but so I was in. I don't know if you were out at jams dancing to that, but the way Bankulize used to hit in secondary school jams that was like the first time that I think I had ever heard anything like that. Because Juls does this amazing thing where it's like, yes, there's a dance hall, reggae, R&B sort of vibe to it, but he bases it off of traditional like local instruments. So he's using the traditional local drums, like panlugu beats.
Yeah.
Again, so there's that familiarity that I think creates that makes the music great, you know. He then went on to do Skin Tights with Efya. That was and Mr. Eazi, monster hits. And I think that song in particular changed. That's where the game entirely changed. Because right after Skin Tights, then there was Mad For You by Runtown. And that's when sort of Nigerians started becoming very interested in Ghanaian things, Ghanaian women, Ghanaian language. You know, you remember, like, there were years where it's like, you know, there's this Nigerian person speaking full on 3 sentences. Like, what's going on?
Speaking Igbo and Yoruba.
Yeah. You know, and so that's why I say that, like, again, the current wave of Afrobeats, it is very much Nigeria, Ghana talking back and forth with each other. Like, this is how we communicate.
Yeah.
Right?
I think Skin Tights. There's a song called something about love Ghanaian ladies, and I'm like, whoa.
I mean, Ghanaian women make the world go round. You know what I'm saying?
There's something. And Jules is amazing. He's great. He's great, and he's so nice as well.
Yeah. Yes, you met him. Yes.
Yeah, he's so nice. He's so nice. Like, you will be in public and you won't know that this is like literally like such a like, you'll be standing next to you and you're like, okay, cool. Like, you wouldn't know that you're standing next to a legend, honestly.
Did you have an opportunity to talk to him about music a little bit?
No, I didn't talk to him about music. I said, hi, I know your friend. And he was part of, you know, that's how you do it in Ghana. You know, you see somebody, you're like, oh, by the way, like, I know your mom. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if he's watching this, Jules, you're amazing. And I didn't get to talk to you about your music, but I think you're cool. But I was gonna say that I also think it's very interesting that Afrobeats is now cool to the West.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's something that a lot of Africans, especially this generation, were like, hey, so now you like our music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people that like moved to England and moved to America at like such a young age. It's like now being African is cool, and it's just very interesting to watch because I've always loved Afrobeat. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the song that like I was dancing to when I was a kid. Like, KiDi Big Deal, Chevy,
yeah.
And all of these were jams, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like all of a sudden, you guys. So now you like it, you know.
I mean, one thing that well, yeah, like you said, now you like it. And in the beginning, you said one thing. You said that, you know, Afrobeats, you know, is a lot of positive vibes. Like Ayra Starr in particular, you know, just good energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that maybe Western music is sort of missing. That sort of good energy, just like good times. We're enjoying ourselves. Everything is good. Life is good.
Yeah.
We're outside. We're dancing. We're in love. And I think that's what Afrobeats really celebrates. And that's one thing I mean, things are hard. Life, I mean, look around you, you know, the world is difficult right now. So I think it's timely.
That's such a good point. It's just such good vibes.
It's such good vibes. Like, you always feel good. And even when the songs aren't necessarily about good things, they make you feel good. So, for example, Black Sherif, I think, is always talking about, you know, the struggles that he had in his past and how, you know, hard he's worked to get here. Omale is always talking about he's depressed and stuff like that. But even then, it's like, even those songs we're still dancing to, we're still like, you know, because even in our sadness, even in our difficult times, we celebrate, you know, because what can you do? You're here, you're alive. You might as well make the most of it.
Celebrate.
That's the message of African music in general, and it's going crazy. So I think it's a combination of, first of all, being African is cool now. Everyone is looking for ways to feel good and good vibes. TikTok as well. People being proud to be African. That good vibe, collaboration. It's been a perfect mixture for Afrobeats right now.
Yeah.
And this is why the timing is 100% perfect. Like, this is our time, and our time is now, and we have to take that by the gears, right? Yeah. Again, and this is why I said this podcast was important to come into this time. I think obviously we've been like, African music has always been popular. Like, again, Fela Kuti, Brenda Fassie, Anthony Kijo, like, there have always been legends that have made it internationally, or Sibisa. But the scale to which we're seeing it now, I think, is unprecedented. And so we really have to take that and celebrate it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to play a game with you. Just a little game. And it's called it's this or that, a typical game. I'm going to give you two options and you pick between the two and tell me why you prefer the two. So I'll do something, related to you to make it easy. Okay. Let's say Instagram versus TikTok. What do you prefer? And why?
TikTok.
Okay, why?
Because TikTok gives you more of a chance to be so silly without repercussions. I think my Instagram and my TikTok audience are just very different. Like, I think my TikTok audience are just there to see me like picking my nose, and my Instagram is like, can you at least brush your hair or something like that?
Okay, and so because you're a theater girl, I'm gonna do Broadway shows. So,
oh no,
actually,
this is where you're gonna see how bad my Broadway knowledge is.
Okay, no, but these are the big stuff, because even me, I wouldn't say I have great Broadway knowledge. The questions are not that deep. Let's say Lion King, the show, or Hamilton.
No, you see, that's not fair. That's
not fair.
Because my school did Lion King, the Broadway. My high school did it. So I have a special attachment to Lion King, the Broadway. But Hamilton songs slap. But I'm sorry, I'm a Lion King.
I mean, like, they're both great shows, right? Like, you can't. It's a tough choice. I'll give you that. Again, in the Broadway world, let's say Lin-Manuel Miranda or Leslie Odom Jr.
Lin-Manuel, because he wrote Moana.
Fair enough.
That's a genius right there.
Staying within Broadway, just one more. Cynthia Erivo or
Cynthia.
I shouldn't say anybody else. I was going to say Renee Elise Goldsberry was the other option, but
yeah.
Okay. Now let's get into more music. So we talked about this a little bit. King Promise or KiDi?
KiDi.
Okay, why?
Because I think KiDi writes more love songs. Because I have a special beef with King Promise that he doesn't know about. He did that was so good. It's like, in love again, need to come up. And it was such a good song. Everything made sense. Up until the part where he's like, baby girl, turn that thing, let me slap that thing for me, or something like that. He's talking about like girl's bum. And I'm just like,
I mean, some people like that.
Such a good love song. You didn't have to add the fact that like all of like it was so. I'm looking for these lyrics. I'm so sorry. This is such a bad.
I feel like KiDi has lyrics like that too, though. I feel like KiDi
sticks on theme. He sticks on theme. Hooking up with a girl. It's from A to Z is hooking up with a girl. I was with King Promise for his heart's break. And he just throws in the line of like, turn around and let me smack that thing for you.
I mean, you're very strict because I feel like African artists rarely ever stick to theme, to be honest.
Well, this one was a good song to like. So KiDi, okay, King Promise, I can fight you for that, honestly.
Okay, Black Sherif or
Black Sherif.
Oh, you don't want to let me land. I was gonna say Kwesi Arthur, but Black Sherif.
Sherif.
Okay, fair enough. Why? Tell me why.
He's so cool. So I haven't met Kwesi Arthur in person.
Yes, you met Black Sherif. Talk a little bit about that. He seems like such a sweet person. I love him.
Lovely. He's so lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like how I ended up meeting him. That was just so iconic. and it was because he followed me on Instagram.
Okay.
And I think I saw it by mistake because I don't know how I saw it, but I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, why would, like, this is the most random thing like in the world. By that time,
I mean, okay, why are you surprised? Because you will go to a random village and then someone will say, "Oh, I've seen you on YouTube." Like, yeah, girl, you're big. So
right, you were so yeah. But it was so random because by that time the only song I knew was like who never has it here, and I'm just like, okay, but this anyway. So he follows me and I'm just like, this is crazy.
Mhm,
So it's like I sat with it for like, I followed him back because I wasn't even following him. So I
mhm.
sat with it for like 4 days and I'm just like, I actually cannot do this. I need to find out why this guy followed me because this is the most random thing in the world. Like, it's just random. I'm just like, so I messaged him. I'm just like, okay, so why did you follow me? I said it nicer. And I'm like, please say it's because I'm funny. It'll boost my ego. Because
Mhm.
I also thought, how can you just message somebody and say, why do you follow me? Why do you want that essay? That's a little bit cocky, isn't it?
Right.
I'm like, because I'm funny. And he said, it's because you're funny. And I was like, yes. And so, yeah. And then, and then I saw him when he performed for Wireless in
Mhm,
July. And
mhm.
that was really nice, like how he held the stage presence. And so when I had the opportunity to kind of pick through artists for Afrofuture. They YouTube was like, who do you want to interview? And they gave me options. And I was like, Black Sherry. And they were like, yeah, let's make it happen. And then
That's
I
good.
interview him. Then he was amazing. So he's smart.
But it was
But
a short video. Is there something you were holding back from us?
was there something that might be more in the future? I guess we'll see.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah, Black Sherif is an amazing artist, and I mean, I think his trajectory is really amazing, and this is what the value of artist development really is. And I think that's something you can speak to because in doing Take Back the Mic, they really trained you. They showed you how to use the equipment. They showed you how to, and you've been in theater school, so you already have the voice training. You know what to do. You have, I believe, you have a voice coach and all those things. Right?
I need to call her. I haven't called her.
And I think that's one thing that's difficult for the African music industry. I mean, it's all about music is all about investment. In fact, art in general, in order to make good art, it just needs good investments. People are talented and they have ideas. They just need that support to be able to put their stuff out
Yeah, yeah.
there.
I
And
think
it's difficult to do that.
yeah, because I definitely credit a lot of my space to be a good creative and an artist to like even where I went to high school.
Like in everything that we do, there's music. We're always, even if it's just drumming on a table, there's always some sort of rhythm. I think about even the fishermen of in Ghana and in around the beach. When you're pulling the fish, there's always a song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
It's
helps.
very we're very musically inclined, and there's a great Netflix documentary. I think it's more focused on Nigerian music's
It's an Afrobeat one.
the Afrobeats documentary. It's good, but I think if we focus more on Nigeria, but they do talk about the Pamlogo beats from Ghana, which is a Ghana rhythm with our local
And
drum.
they made us do it in school. So
Right.
like I was in middle school, they made us do balo, 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 ligi, ligi.
Yeah. Exactly. And that it's I feel like that's the basis, and they talk about this as the basis of a lot of beats that we do in our music and even in Western music and hip hop. That sort of that I can't that's what the mic, but that rhythm is it started back home. And that has permeated throughout everything. And we just there's always a song. I think there's always a song in a Ghanaian's mind. That's just how we communicate. And that's why music is such a powerful thing because that's how the world is connected. And again, look at how like African music is making people. I don't know all these Nigerian songs. I have no idea what they're saying in it. I'm singing along. I'm speaking Yoruba like I know it. You know what I mean? Same way with French music, Francophone music. It can be German.
I was singing I'm allergic to sokuso. No,
What does that mean? No idea.
some guy said sokuso is jealousy. Now I don't know what language. I think it's in Yoruba. I think.
Right. We can only guess. We have to ask your Nigerian friends if that's what
I have to ask my Nigerian friends, but
Yeah.
also even think of it from the perspective of like, look at all the tree songs or like the Ga songs that like I know it is like
Yeah.
I don't even understand Ga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know some words.
You feel the spirit. Like you just know that this is a good vibe and I'm enjoying it.
Igbo can like be singing straight in Yoruba, and it's just like, but I'm not even Yoruba, like I'm Igbo. You know, you could be from anywhere, and music gives you access to different.
Absolutely. And okay, thank you honestly for this conversation. Really, really amazing. I appreciate your support in co-hosting this episode. We talked a little bit about afrobeats, about Juls, about pushing the language barrier, some of your favorite artists, and hopefully some of those people that we talked about I will have on the podcast so that we can talk about again what the industry is like and how they're pushing their name and their talent. You're the professional at this, so I want you to close out the episode. You know, the whole like, share, subscribe, do it from.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We love to platform African artists. We love to platform Black artists. We love to platform artists in the world. So make sure that you're liking, subscribing. Make sure that you're following Mariah for anything that she has, because I know that it just gets better from here.
Absolutely. The Instagram, TikTok, Twitter page is in the Mix Poddy, PODDY. Follow, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube.
Come on, yellow way.
Legend in the making. Never thought about how long the dream would take when your confidence is breaking and you're fighting not to give in to temptation. Champion will be easy. Even a silver spoon needs food to feed.